Hello, welcome to another one of our videos, and today we're looking at the chin up, and sort of very in particular for females who have all the exercises in the gym. I would often find that this would be probably rated the most hated by most of the girls, and funnily enough it's probably the one that they'd really love to do too. So the ones who do develop a bit of strength, it's sort of like a challenge for them to be able to get a couple of chin-ups unassisted on their own. So how do you get there though? That's the hard thing, because it is quite a tough exercise and does demand quite a considerable amount of strength. So one of the best things you can use are the resistance bands, and I've got Kim here, who is a very strong girl, and she's sort of able to get 1 to 2 on her own at times, but there's a couple of ways that you can sort of develop the strength for this exercise, and like I said, the first one is using like a resistance band. So on the video to the left here, you'll see that we'll get her doing a few of these with the band, and you can sort of see me on the right, which I'll go over in a sec. But this one here on the left with the band, this is quite a strong band, like a very strong, and she's standing in it as well, which gives her a fair bit of like assistance, especially at the bottom point, because it's at this bottom point where the muscles are completely overstretched and very weak. This is where everyone's the hardest to get up, right? So the lats here are under huge stretch, and the lats are the key. They're the ones that really cop a beating in the chin up, and they're the ones that a lot of people just don't quite have the strength. The arms are definitely a part of it, the biceps and everything, and forearms and grip is also important, but the lats are the key. And the grip position, by the way, the neutral grip position is the strongest. So this is where, if she was an underhand grip, that's not too bad, but the neutral grip allows a lot more assistance from the pecs. The wide grip with the hands pronated or palms facing, or so if we saw the back of her hands, that's the weakest grip that you would have, all right? So that's the one you would probably work to the last, for the blokes who are pretty good at them, that's the one they might get the most challenge from. But for generally speaking, most people, it's this neutral grip is the best. So what she wants to do is, the mistake I see a lot of people make is they try to get too far over the bar. They feel like they have to get their chin over the bar. You can see here Kim doesn't do that. She's actually trying to just get her chest to the bar, and she's got a nice rib cage position. So you can tell she's got a nice rib cage position because she doesn't hunch on it at the top there, which you'll see when she's on the one on the right in a minute, where she's got no help. You will see her try to use that hunch. All right, so on the one on the left here, you'll see as she comes up, she'll get to the bar, and there's that nice position right there. And if I look at the one on the right here, where I'm helping her a fair bit, you'll see how right at she comes too high, and that last bit there, where her shoulders lurch forward. Can you see that bit there? That's what you don't want, because that's going to ruin the shoulder. And the reason that people will do that, because this is where, remember I said at the beginning, where when you're at the bottom, everything's overstretched. Well, at the top here, this is where everyone's the strongest, because the muscle fibers have closed in. So those lats are really short and tight here, giving you a fair bit of strength. But that position is going to ruin the shoulder joint, because you're sort of rotating it forward, and it's going to smash out of the shoulder, and that's where over time you're going to develop trigger points and all sorts of stuff. All right, so on the set on the left, on the right here where I was helping her, which is by far the best way to develop the true strength in it. So as she comes down, I don't need to help her. So the muscles are going from closed position to generally lengthening, getting weakest. She won't get back from there. So then all I do is I just push her up and get her to the point where she just learns to control it. And then she just comes down nice and slow. The key is to do this nice and slow and try and maintain a good posture. And you can sort of see the scapula, how it rotates out if you sort of watch it very carefully. So the border of the scapula, when it's at the top, it sort of pinches together because it's in retraction. And then as she comes down, it'll slowly rotate out. All right, so we'll watch it again. There you go, and that's a nice position. All right. So again, the key points on this are really, so if you're watching the one on the left here where she's got good form because she's not overly challenged, and see how she maintains that nice shoulder position, all right? Doesn't try to lurch over the bar, all right? That's what she really needs to learn on the harder one, but obviously there's a lot more stress into the muscles, all right? So using a band, so standing in the band's a lot easier. So there's a couple of videos where I did with her where we were kneeling in it as well. So she went from standing to kneeling to a smaller band, standing to a smaller band, kneeling to then no band. All right. So the bands are awesome and they're better than machines because the band only helps you when you're stuck at the bottom. So it only helps her when she's there. As she comes up, there's less of a resist or recoil on it that slings her up. So she does all the work at the point where she's the strongest, and at the point where she's the weakest, the band helps her. All right, where a machine will help you evenly throughout the whole thing, meaning that at the top you don't really feel like you're doing anything. All right, so that's why the bands are a great training tool and a great way to learn this. If you have a partner, it's even better, like I was showing you there, because she'll develop considerable more strength from me doing it, helping her this way than the band. All right, but obviously you can't do that on your own. So the band is the next best thing when you're by yourself. But yeah, if you can, reps are irrelevant too. Sort of, just aim for good form. If you start to feel like you're losing it, just pull the pin and stop. It's better just to do good reps than try to smash out a whole heap of bad ones. All right, so. A great exercise for girls. There's no reason they can't do them. They just need to spend some time with it. Like I said, get a training partner, and you'll see that the results of this will be huge. Just don't do them more than twice a week. Allow enough recovery between workouts, and you should be fine. All right. So I hope you've enjoyed that video, and we'll see you on one of our next ones.